Stitcher and Spotify are common brands for podcast fans in 2021, but before they came into the public lexicon, there was PodShow. Former MTV VJs Adam Curry and RonBloom created it back in 2005. Their company was at the forefront of the podcast boom.
RonBloom joins us on Morning Rush now for part 4 of our Pioneers of Podcasting series. Thanks for joining us. All right, Ron.
Pleasure to be here.
So you worked with the Podfather, Adam Curry, to create something huge. Tell us a little bit about PodShow and what inspired you to start it.
Well, in 2004, Adam and Dave Weiner had sort of been playing around with this idea of how to subscribe to content. And I had done a pretty big business with Adam back in the 90s. We took the company public together. And we started to look at what it would really mean if we could re-enfranchise creative people so they could get directly to their audience. It seems kind of silly today, but the only way to get content onto the iPod platform was through iTunes, and iTunes was locked down. So it was really this idea that we could become pirate radio for the iPod by using a backdoor onto the iPod and by enabling fans to subscribe to the content they want. So a fan could listen to a DJ, in those days we call them DJs, and subscribe. And that's a really interesting part of the business of podcasting, which is the content finds me when you're ready to produce it. And then the next piece was, if we could do those couple of things, could we build a business? And PodShow was that business.
What do you think's been the biggest evolution in podcasting since then? And did you ever imagine a world in which we just showed the number 2 million podcasts, more than 48 million different episodes?
That evolution is that content, content and distribution. Many people say content is king, and I've always said distribution is King Kong. So the requirement to find your own audience shapes the reputation and the skill set of the person behind the microphone or the camera. So if you're the type of person that can build your own following, podcasting is great for you. That's sort of the democratized side. The professional side is if you want a channel in which you can adjust, maintain, provide your unfiltered, whatever unfiltered is to you, and podcasting is equally great for the largest news organizations. Newsy, and as I watched it grow, really started as a grassroots alternative news organization, and then life tends to pressure you into certain delivery formats. So podcasting lets you deliver professional formats or any format you create. And I pretty much think it's unstoppable. It's just the way life is today.
Definitely. So unstoppable, that means you see something in the future. So what is the next evolution in the world of podcasting?
Well, interestingly enough, when Adam and I started our first business, in the 90s, our first commercial website was called metaverse.com. And, I went the other day and looked it up on the Wayback Machine, and sure enough, there it is. So I think you're going to see this mashup between virtual, AR, VR, and the delivery of content. And I think that you're going to see, a new explosion in creativity as visual artists combined with literary artists, combined with musical artists, and create a new type of format. But at the end of the day, it's going to be creative people broadcasting themselves and probably into the metaverse.
All right, Ron, any recommendations for our viewers, some unique podcasts that you enjoy out there?
Well, I'm a little bit tilted or tainted toward music side, so I'm not going to go into the traditional ones, but I like the Song Exploder as kind of one if you're interested in how a podcast can work to sort of create a niche audience. I think the idea that I would recommend is if you're interested in something in life, if you're interested in learning something, there's most likely one or more podcasts out there for you. If you're interested in unfiltered news or you want an A version versus a B version, there's also lots of politics out there for you. But I think the most important thing you can do is take what you love, get into the Mr. Google, and type that thing you love plus podcast, and you're going to find some really good stuff. It's really amazing how all the industry has grown.
Really is.
And I'm proud to have been a part of it. So
Yeah,
Thanks for letting me on.
Anything you are looking for, there is a podcast for that.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur and podcast pioneer Ron Bloom, thank you for joining us today on Morning Rush. Appreciate your time, man.
You got it, my man. Thank you.